Hi, everybody. Mitch Tannenbaum here. Thanks for joining me today. This is the security news update for February 11th, 2024. In the privacy alerts, security alerts section, there's a bug in Linux bootloaders that have been signed over the past decade. It has to do with the shim that's in between the bootloader and UEFI. And apparently it rates a 9.8 out of 10. So it's pretty serious. The problem is that it trusts user-controlled input values, and you should never trust anything that the user provides to you. So the attacker can do pretty much what they want to do. Also in that section, there are twin FortiSIM bugs. FortiSIM is Fortinet's security log analyzer tool. The bug's rated 10 out of 10. And it may be linked to an older FortiSIM bug from last October that rated a 9.7. And lastly, in that section, Google saves your Gemini or Bard conversations for years by default. You can turn that off, but even if you turn it off, it's going to be around for a while. And Google warns in their documentation, please don't enter confidential information in your conversations or any data that you wouldn't want a reviewer to see or Google to use. So they're pretty clear about it. There's no question about that. In the software section, Mozilla, the guys that brought us Firefox, have a new tool. They had a service which allowed you to see, and they still do, to see if your information is for sale. That's for free. But if you want them to try to fix it, they have deals with 190 data brokers where those data brokers will remove your information. That costs $13.99 a month on a monthly basis, or $8.99 a month on an annual basis. And again, back to Fortinet, not their good week for them. They have a bug in their SSL VPN. It's likely being exploited. It's a remote code execution bug. It's rated 9.6 out of 10. And if you can't apply the patch, Fortinet says you better turn off your VPN. So that's not a great solution. So if you haven't already patched it, now is the time to go do that. They also patched a couple of other bugs, one rated at 9.8, but they said that those aren't being exploited yet. So this sounds like a good time to go patch. And next, AnyDesk, which is a very popular remote access software, their systems are compromised. They're not giving a lot of details about it, other than they have said they've revoked all security-related certificates. They're revoking code signing certificates and revoking portal passwords. So whatever it was the bad guys got, it's bad. If you use AnyDesk, then now is the time to be asking a lot of questions. In the legal and legislative department, in theory, Section 02 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act was supposed to expire last December. Congress did what Congress often does, and they kicked the can down the road just a couple of months. So now, come the middle of April, it's going to expire again. And, there's going to be a lot of arguing back and forth over how to do it. Nobody trusts the FBI in Congress. So whether you're left or right doesn't make any difference. And as a result, the FBI would love for this thing to be renewed forever with no expiration date, unlike the way it works now, where it expires every 3 to 5 years. And they don't want any more restraints on how they use the data or how they get access to the data. So I don't think that's likely to happen. But they said, gee, it's really useful to us. And I'm sure it is. But the problem is, people are saying is the risk, and by people, I mean the people in Congress, is the risk of abusing Americans' data, which the FBI has done on multiple occasions, multiple occasions. Is it worth the risk of giving it? So we shall see what happens there, but this battle is far from over. Also in the legal section, and this is amazing, Google settled a $1.6 billion AI patent infringement claim against them moments before closing arguments in the trial were set to begin. They're not saying what's going on, but the assumption is got to be that they didn't think they were going to win the case. And so it was going to be cheaper for them to settle for less money than it would be to go ahead and risk the jury verdict. And obviously they don't want the jury verdict because that creates a precedent. The issue was a company called Singular, and they claimed that they showed Google some technology, or their chairman showed Google some technology, and then Google copied that for their Tensor chip that they use in their AI learning process. The case is over. That part is settled, but the lawsuits over the patent that's claimed to be infringed, that's a whole other conversation, and that still goes on. In terms of breaches, if you didn't think deep fakes are going to fool you, you're wrong. In this one case, there was a video conference call. It was completely deep faked except for the victim. And the net result was the company is out $25 million because the victim, who was in accounting, thought that he was talking to the CFO along with a bunch of other executives of the company. And they told him what he was supposed to do, and he did what they told him. Unfortunately, the problem was that the person that was telling him was effectively a hologram. It was a deep fake. And the scourge of deep fakes continues. Gartner, the research folks, say that AI-generated deep fakes will fool facial recognition biometrics in many cases. And the problem is that biometrics were never meant to be designed to authenticate you, just to identify you. But, we take the option always when we have a choice between security and convenience, we go for convenience. So, we'll see what happens there, but it's going to be a problem. And if you didn't think breaches were bad enough, they are, and they're getting worse. Third-party breaches, your vendors, fourth-party breaches, your vendors, and fifth-party breaches, even worse. Now, there's a credit union service organization that's dealing with that right now, and it's to the end user, it's probably a fifth-party breach. So not great. And in the security news bites, there's a meme that always goes around DEF CON, the security conference, hackers conference, that DEF CON's been canceled. It turns out this time it has, kind of mostly. The hotel that they have been using for years, almost a decade or maybe over a decade, just canceled their conference at the last minute. They said that's because of change in strategy. I think it's probably related to the fact that last year they got hacked for real, and they're kind of nervous about hosting a bunch of hackers, even if they're good guy hackers. Ransomware payments more than doubled last year to over $1 billion. And the feds are looking at making software developers liable for bugs. That would be interesting. Software is really the only thing where you can buy it or license it, and the person who's selling it to you doesn't have any responsibility to make sure that it works. Would you buy a washing machine if the seller had no responsibility for making sure the washing machine that they sold you worked? No. Well, software is different apparently, and the feds are looking at changing that. And hackers are looking for your travel account. Apparently, that's pretty lucrative. You think about the information you might have in your travel account. It would include, potentially multiple credit cards and passports, driver's license, all kinds of identifying information. And finally, apparently, some people think that 1111 is a good password. Unfortunately, the people who think that are running our critical infrastructure, which is not a great answer, but they're doing it anyway. Obviously, we all have challenges with deepfakes and the damage that can cause, both to our company's reputation as well as to its finances. And if you are at all concerned that you will not be able to handle that, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to work with you to get your arms around that. That's all I have for today. Until next time, stay safe, and thanks for listening.
Thank you for watching. For more information or to purchase this or any other of our board or executive services, visit us at cybersecurity.com. Call us at 303-887-5864 or email us at rh@cybersecurity.com. Goodbye.